The rat scouts ahead. Nothing is seen in the next room. The hallway is very narrow, and Bastin will need to walk sideways to get through it. He removes his backpack and makes his way. Bastin enters the room, and immediately an unusual insect started to squeal. The noise was so loud it was deafening. One of the walls started to shake, and the stones started to crack. Bastin charges the insect and kills it with his dagger. As he kills the insect, the wall gives way, and dirt rushes forward, taking Bastin with it. The dirt floods the room like an ocean wave. Bastin is knocked to the ground, hitting his head on a rock. He is buried by the dirt and frantically digs his way out, gasping for air as he makes his way to the stairs. The narrow pathway is closed off, and his supplies are lost somewheres under the pile of dirt. As the cloud of dust settles, Bastin is able to catch his breath and recover from this ordeal. Let's get into this. Welcome to Solitary RPG. Before we get into recapping Waypoint 3 and moving forward with our story, I just wanted to let you know things took a turn for the worse for Bastin, and this is the last video for this series. At the very end, I will do the reading of the recap of everything that took place, so stay tuned to the end. For now, we'll just jump back into the video. That was a recap of Waypoint 3 and all the events that took place. For me, it was an exciting moment with the trap going off and Bastin getting buried. However, there's a couple things I need to talk about regarding that episode. I forgot to roll for his recovery rest during that episode. I did it off camera, but he is back up to full health. I rolled a 9 for that. Also, I never wrote down the location of the iron shard. I didn't say if it was in his backpack or if it was in his pocket. I'm just going to make the decision and say it was in his pocket. It's going to be hard to find the iron shard probably moving forward because, I got to roll dice and it's all based on the rolls. So I'm going to go ahead and let him keep it. I'm just going to say put it in his pocket instead of putting it in his backpack. So for right now, Bastin has none of his supplies with him. All he has is what was on his person, which is his dagger, his sling, the bone whistle, the iron shard, and the calling stone. So that's all he's got. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into Waypoint 4. So let me get the desk all set up, and we'll get started. All right, so I got a fresh piece of scrap paper so that we can start taking our notes, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my card. So we're basically at the beginning of the dungeon again because there's no way out. So a dead end is a bad thing, so we need to create a pathway like this. So let me write down this card number and get it on screen, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you're seeing what I'm seeing, and we got a couple things we're looking at. So we've got some doors in front of us, so the rat can't scurry ahead and look beyond the doors. You can see the little hashes. Also, once we get past that, it looks like we have this cool little cave piece, another hallway, and more doors. So now we get to experiment with opening doors. But since the rat can't go ahead, we're kind of stuck. If these doors end up being locked and we got to make noise and we end up with an encounter in there, we're done for. Like, we got to deal with the encounter. They get the first attack on us. Plus the doors could be trapped. We got to stick with that as well. So what we're going to do first is we're going to decide what the first set of doors are. So we got doors 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to go ahead and decide what the first set of doors are and what we have to deal with, and that's coming from Bell Whispers. They have a great chart in here for doors that we are using. It's chart number 9, and it's just a simple D12 roll, and you can kind of get an idea of what you got. What we're going to do first is Bastin's going to make an awareness check on the doors to just predetermine if they're trapped or not. So one of the things I like to do with solo playing is I don't want to roll on the door, decide what the door is, and then make my skill check. I know I'm going to be using awareness, looking at the door, looking for traps, looking for those things. So let's make the roll first. Then we'll roll on the chart to see what the door actually is. And this just gives me a little bit of surprise, because if I fail the awareness check and the door ends up being trapped or locked or anything like that, I have to deal with it because I have to move forward through this door. So that's just how I'm going to run it. Woohoo! I rolled a 2. 2 pass. So now if I roll on the door and the door turns up to be trapped, Bastin will notice the trap walking up to the door, so we can just write that right into our narrative. If it's locked or stuck, we're going to have to do a strength check, and then you got opened and closed. So D12 roll. Let's now determine what the door is. 11. Oh, the door is wide open. So I don't have to do anything. Bastin can just kind of walk right through the door. So narratively, what we're going to do is do a little bit of writing about what we just did, and I'll be right back. All right, that was pretty simple. Basically, all I wrote was Bastin approaches the door, checking for traps. He notices nothing and that the door is not locked. He pushes on it just enough for the rat to go inside the room. So, to me, just looking at this image that we have on screen, that this looks like a set of double doors, like maybe something you'd see at like a restaurant or business where people are kind of coming and going, like they self-shut. So he notices that there's nothing out of the ordinary, and just kind of slightly pushes on the door a little bit. The rat goes in. So the rat needs to make an awareness check. Awareness is 14. He rolled a 9. So the rat passes the awareness check. So we'll worry about that once we've populated the room. So we're going to have our location details, which is going to be a D4 roll. We rolled a 1, so it's going to be contents. And what are the contents going to be? So we just flip over to the next page. We got this nice big D20 chart. I rolled a 17. All right, so we rolled a 17, which is a sealed atom chamber. And I had to look that up because I'm like, what the heck is it? And basically, it's just a sealed thing leading into a bigger room. So basically, that fits beautifully with the card that we have. So we're going to say that's a sealed door. Right now, Bastin won't know about it, but we do have a chamber. It's looking promising. So the last thing we got to do is roll to see what this room is all about. So let me go back to the chart real fast. The area room 19, Vile Temple. So the area table resulted in that. So we don't have any dangers. We don't have anything out of the ordinary. The door opened up for us beautifully. So Bastin will see another door. Maybe that's the vile temple space. Like this is just a normal hallway. That's a sealed door. And that's kind of the temple. So we got some rooms to look around. I guess we're going to have to maybe make a roll to determine if Bastin notices this atom chamber entrance, or if he's just going to walk by it. So we got to figure out how to word the question. I don't want to word the question like, does Bastin notice the passageway? I want to ask the question, I think, so what we're going to ask is the antechamber entrance noticeable? And you're using the oracle that comes with the game. So it's a simple D6. And that is no, it's not noticeable. So that's an extreme no, being 1. So I'm just going to run with that is sealed completely, and Bastin's not going to be able to find it at all. That's how I'm going to read into that. So we're not going to be able to search that space. But now we're kind of in this area. So We haven't done an actual search, and we still need to figure out what door number 2 is. So let's roll for door number 2 first and see what kind of a shape that door's in. 4, it's locked or stuck. So door 2 is locked or stuck. All right. So if Bastin wants to open this, he's going to have to make a strength check to open up the door. So we can do a scavenge roll first for the main corridor, and then we can do a strength check to open the door, and then we can do a search inside the room before we exit out of this waypoint. So let me get my charts and tables. So let's do the scavenge roll first, which again, you just roll a simple d10, because this could, I could roll an unexpected danger, we could have an encounter, and everything could go sideways. So let's see what we get. Oh, I rolled a 1. Unexpected danger. So just what I needed. An encounter. So what are we going to get? We've got a d4 roll here. We could be a lot of different things. A trap. So I think we sprung a trap while searching. What is this trap gonna be? So we got to move forward with this chart. So we have this D20 chart here for traps. 12. We had ringing alarm last time, and I don't like having duplicates. So let's go with 9. Oh, piercing spikes. And now we need to go back to the Oracle to kind of come up with what everything is going to be with our piercing spikes. So we roll a d6. We rolled a 5. So the number of, it's going to be several, which kind of fits for piercing spikes. The scale is going to be large. And the power, formidable. Give me a second to write some stuff down about everything we've rolled so far, because right now we just went in. The rat only can pick out dangers like encounters, can't spring traps, can't do anything like that. So Bastin's gonna spring a trap. So, all right. So I decided to kind of tie a couple things together here. Let me read what I wrote real fast. Bastin goes to open the door. It will not open. He kicks it, trying to force it open. He feels a sharp pain in his back as several spikes are released from the wall behind him. That's where I end it. I'm not going to go any further with it. That was a pretty straightforward thing. So basically, he came in. He's not seeing anything. He goes to open up the door into this vile temple. It's locked or it's stuck, so he goes to kick it, force it open. He wants to get inside, and the trap is sprung. He's hit with spikes in the back. So obviously, this is going to advance our threat clock to 4 now. So the threat clock is now at 4 because he's encountered a trap. He's taking damage. This is kind of like an encounter or a conflict. So now we got to roll damage for the trap. The words we rolled from the Oracle, we got several for numbers. We got large for scale, formidable for power, fine for quality, and then reaction open. But here all we have is slight, moderate, and severe. So we're just going to have to go with severe for formidable. I don't know what else to do about that. So that's what we're going to go with. So 2d10. We'll do 10 points of damage. So Bastin is hit in the back by these spikes, and he is taking 10 points of damage. So we will cross that off his chart. So he is down to 3 points of damage. So he's hurting. Bastin is hurting bad. The threat clock just went up to 4. And we still got to figure out what this last door is going to be before he can leave here. And he's got spikes in his back. So let me do some writing and we'll get right back to this. So what I wrote was basically Bastin falls to the ground in pain. The rat rushes over and helps remove the spikes the best he can. He's able to get up and he makes his way to the doors, leaving the area. So again, tying the rat is actually Stonegaze. So he's there to help as well. So that's why I'm having the rat come over and help. There's a little bit of panic in the rat. I'll wordsmith that a little bit more when we get to the recap. But for right now, we got to figure out what that last door is. The last door is a 2. And the last door is also trapped or hidden. So last door is trapped. So could this be the end of our great adventurer? So let's roll on the trap table. No reason to mess around. Let's just go right to what is the trap at the last one. It's a 5. Crushing walls. Oh boy. This beast is really not liking Bastin. And we're going to roll another d6 to determine the quality. Okay, 3. So we have few, moderate, minor, mundane. So if we go back over to the damage chart for the game, I think moderate is a 2d6 damage. Moderate is 2d6. Can it happen? Will it happen? 7 points of damage. So 7 points of damage. So Bastin is knocked out. He's done for. He did not pass his test to get the iron shard. So let me write this out real fast, and then I'll be right back to talk about what's going to happen moving forward. Before I read the recap, I just want to point out, yes, I could save Bastin and I can keep the adventure going. However, I just want to go ahead and wrap up the series and revisit this once we get the physical products from Free League. Yes, we have the copies and everything's fine, but I actually want to get the physical copies so that we can show off the quality of Free League's products and have all the updated information. So the story is not completely done. Think of this as just a fade to black scene. Bastin went -4 with his HP. He was passed out. Right about the time he called out for Stonegaze, he passed out. Stonegaze saved him, and he'll end up back in Outskirts, and we can open up the next chapter of this adventure with him waking up in Outskirts, beaten and bruised. And I think it'll work out pretty good. I also got a cool story thread that I want to include in my next adventure where the beast wasn't hunting Bastin. The beast was hunting Stonegaze and was trying to get Stonegaze throughout all this trickery and everything that was going on. So kind of got a little bit of a story thread already, brewing in my mind. But let me read the final recap, and then we'll conclude the series. Bastin approaches the door looking for traps. He notices nothing, and that the door is not locked. He pushes on the door just enough for the rat to go inside. There is nothing in the room, and Bastin goes inside. Looking around the room, he doesn't notice anything. He attempts to open the single door, but it is locked. He raises his foot and kicks on the door handle to force it open. He feels a sharp pain in his back as several spikes are released from the wall behind him. Bastin falls to the ground in pain. The rat rushes over to help remove the spikes the best he can. Bastin is able to get back up and make his way to the door, leaving the area. As Bastin makes his way to the exit, he's in bad shape. He pushes on the door, and he hears a click, and the walls on the side start closing in on him. He panics. He doesn't see a way out. He clutches on the jade stone, and he calls out, "Stonegaze!" The rat's eyes grow a bright green, and he transforms to Stonegaze. He grabs Bastin, and they are teleported back to the temple. Thank you for going with me on this journey as we play Dragonbane solo. I had a lot of fun, It was an exciting game. There was moments of tension and stress and all that good stuff. So I had a lot of fun with that. And yeah, so have a great day.